Great. So how many of you guys were at my talk this morning on the main stage? Okay, a good amount of you. So a little bit of background for those of you who weren't there. I'm Karen, I make viral videos. This talk this afternoon is going to be really nitty-gritty about marketing tactics. Specifically, I'm going to cover how to make a viral video for your business. But first, I'm going to start off with a fun video that has nothing to do with business. This is one of the first viral videos that I ever made, and it is a video of me dancing. All right. Thank you. So I'm going to be sharing a bunch of my tips for how to make a video go viral. And I'm going to be doing that by showing you specifically some videos that I've made for businesses that have gone viral. And I want the session to be pretty interactive, so I'll be stopping for Q&A several times during the session. So I actually have a few options for you for viral videos that I've made. I've got a viral video about a children's book, a viral video about taxes, and a viral video about a 360 camera. So I'm going to take a poll of which one you guys want to watch first. Taxes. Wow, I don't need to poll. Okay, you guys are really into taxes. So, this company, Credit Karma, came to me. How many of you have heard of Credit Karma? I wonder if it's like a US company. So they're a pretty common company, popular company in the US, and they offer free credit scores to Americans. You guys have credit scores here, right? Yeah? Okay. They came to me and they said, hey, we have this new tax product. Actually, filing taxes in Canada, how hard of a process is that? Is that taken care of for you guys automatically, or do you have to do all the paperwork? Okay, so it's kind of more like US. Okay. So they came to me and they were like, hey, we have this new tax product coming out. You want to make a viral video about taxes? And I'm just like, oh, okay. I've made like these viral dance videos, and I've made viral videos about augmented reality, but never have I had to make a viral video about something like taxes. And so I talked to the client, and we did some brainstorming. And they said something interesting, which was they said that in the UK, tax filing is actually automatic. Like you just don't have to file your taxes. The government just knows, and then you pay it like with your paycheck each time. And if you think about it, at least in the US, I don't know about it, this is true in the UK, but when you send when your employer sends you your tax forms, they also send it to the government, and so the government actually knows how much money you make, but then you still have to do all this paperwork. So why are we having to do that double work? It doesn't really make any sense. And so they gave me this insight, and I was like, ooh, okay, that's something that we can tap into. How many of you guys are familiar with the attention page on Facebook? It's called ATTN. Okay, so on Facebook, I don't know if you guys have seen this style of video. There's a really popular style of video on Facebook, which is like US versus Denmark, like cycling in the US versus Denmark, or education system, US versus Finland. And basically, these videos are the same thing. They're some sort of political topic, and then they'll compare the US versus like some utopian Western European country. These videos go super viral. They get like more than 10 million views. And so when my client said, oh, hey, we have this insight about the UK, then I thought, oh, well, there's this style of video that's really popular. That's this US versus UK style. We could probably do that. So that's kind of the first tip that I have for you is rather than trying to be really creative and come up with something fresh, really just study what works on Facebook, study the videos that do go viral, and notice any insights that you have in your business that you could match into one of the existing formats that go viral. One thing that I've learned about Facebook is, and the reason, by the way, why I'm so focused on Facebook now is because there are actually more video views on Facebook than there are on YouTube. And 2 or 3 years ago, that would have been unfathomable. But now, Facebook is where you want to be. And specifically, it's a really good place to disguise an ad. And I'll show you that later. OK, enough babbling. I'm going to show you the video.
Is just yours to keep. You don't really have to think about it.
On this website that I could do my taxes for free. So I put in all my information. Then when I hit submit, it's telling me I have to pay all these different fees.
Okay, why did this like kind of dry video go viral, right? It has 13 million views. And when you look at it, it doesn't look like anything special, and yet it did go viral for a few reasons. The first one is that it followed a format that already goes viral on Facebook. These US versus other country videos are really popular. I would recommend going on Facebook and going to these pages and just following them and watching all their videos to see which video formats are popular. Now This, I recommend, NOWTHIS. Vox, VOX is another one. And BuzzFeed, of course, and then also Attention, ATTN. And I'll write these out for you guys at the end of the talk so you can see them. A few other things that we did to make this video viral. You might notice that the whole thing works without sound, right? I could have played this whole video for you and with sound off. It was just some generic stock music. Anyone have any ideas as to why that is? Yes. So on Facebook, the percentage of people who watch videos with sound on, 20%. If you have a video that relies on people talking, people aren't going to hear that. On Facebook, videos default actually to sound off. And what we're seeing is that has actually changed the style of video that goes viral on Facebook. My dance video was released 3 years ago on YouTube. It requires, sound for the experience. Dance videos today, musical videos, singing, those videos go less viral than they used to because Facebook defaults with sound off. When you are creating a video for Facebook, I recommend editing the whole thing on mute, which is what I do. And then I just add in some music later. This definitely restricts storytelling because we rely so much on music and sound to tell emotional stories. With Facebook, you have to figure out how to tell your story visually. And visually, that means giant captions. On a giant screen like this, these captions might seem to be like ridiculously large, right? That seems like unreasonably large text. But if you're actually on your phone and you're watching the video on like 2 inches by 2 inches, that size text actually makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of videos that have more traditional text sizes, and on mobile, that's just too small for people to read. Another thing to keep in mind is you'll notice that this video is actually a square aspect ratio. Anyone have any ideas as to why that might be?
More real estate.
Exactly. So, square videos on Facebook take up more real estate for free. If you look at your phone, okay, sorry, it's sweaty. People don't do this when they watch your video. They're not gonna rotate it. Like, they do not have time to rotate it. So they just are scrolling in their Facebook feed. When you see a widescreen video, it takes up only a third of the screen. Like that much. But if you have a square video, it takes up half of the screen. That much. And it doesn't cost anything extra to make your video square. Where else can you get real estate for free? I don't know. On Facebook, you can. So on Facebook, always make sure your videos are square. And that's something to keep in mind when you're shooting your video too. Oftentimes when on my viewfinder, I'll just put tape on the outer edges of my video so I make sure that everything that I'm shooting works with square. So the other thing that this video is doing is that there are certain emotions that cause people to share, and there are certain emotions that don't. The emotions that get people to share are awe, like if you are inspired by something, anger, and amusement. And the emotions that don't get people to share are sadness and contentment. And you might have like a really beautifully sad piece that makes people feel very intensely. But the reason why those emotions don't go viral is because sadness and contentment are actually introverted emotions. Whereas if you're in awe, if you're angry, if you're amused, those are high arousal emotions. And they build up your energy, and you feel like you have to get it out. And the way people get it out is they hit the share button. A lot of brands are afraid of, they want to be funny, they want to hit amusement, and they want to hit awe. And a lot of brands are afraid of hitting anger. But that emotion done properly is actually one of the most powerful emotions to make a viral video for your business. And the reason for that is because that's how you can get a viral video that both goes viral and converts. That's a question that I get asked a lot. It's like, okay, well, the video went viral, but how many sales does it end up driving? If you can target the anger emotion, which is actually what this video is doing, it's targeting the frustration that people experience when they do their taxes. What I do with my videos that are successful is the first half attacks it kind of brings to light the problem that the product is solving. And it triggers the frustrations that customers have with that problem. That emotion is anger. Then the second half is the solution. It's what is your business, what is the product, what benefit does it provide, and how does it solve that problem? Okay, any questions about this one? No questions. Quiet audience. Okay, all right. I will move on to one more tip for distribution. How do you distribute videos? And that's one question that I get asked a lot is how much of making a viral video is how good the video is versus how much marketing you do behind it. And the marketing element of making a viral video has actually changed a lot in the last 3 years. In my morning talk, I talked about how with the video that I made, I got it to go viral by emailing 300 reporters. If I did that today, if I emailed 300 reporters, I would not get good results. Anyone have any guesses as to why emailing reporters is no longer such an effective strategy? Any more? Any other guesses? All right. The reason why emailing reporters is no longer effective is because of Facebook. Facebook has completely eaten the media. If you think about how viral videos used to spread 3 to 5 years ago, what would happen is you would be in your Facebook feed, and then you would read an article about a video, and that article in the thumbnail would be interesting enough for you to click on the article. Then you go into a separate web browser, then you have to scroll and read the article. Then you press on the play button in YouTube. Then you go into the YouTube player, and then you watch it. That's how viral videos used to spread, through news headlines. They don't anymore. Now, viral videos spread through Facebook, native Facebook uploads. If you think what the experience is now, you just scroll in your Facebook feed, and then videos play automatically. That's a much smoother experience. That's why emailing reporters doesn't work so much, because articles about viral videos don't get as many views and as many clicks, because it's so much easier just to watch a Facebook video natively in the feed. And so, what can you do? If emailing 300 reporters doesn't work anymore, what can you do? What I have found to be extraordinarily successful on Facebook is actually using targeted ad spend. And you can actually get insane numbers with Facebook right now, because Facebook does something with their ad spend, which is the better your video, the more relevant your video, the higher the relevancy score, the cheaper it is to buy a view. A lot of the times for my clients, it's like a good cost per view might be like 1 penny. We've gotten views for 1/10 of a penny. We've also gotten. I'll show you a video in a little bit where that video has 25 million views, and we put less than $500 in ad spend behind it. So what you can get, if you can make a video that looks like organic content, is you'll buy 1 view and you can get 10 views for free. And specifically, what you want to do is A/B test those audiences. And so that's what we did for this video. We tested this video amongst a bunch of different audiences, and the one that actually ended up performing the best was the attention audience. Facebook.com/attention, that's the page that has the US versus UK videos. All right, any questions before I move on to the next video? Yes?
So you said you targeted the attention page directly, right? Is this something like on, let's say, Facebook Blueprint they show you to do? Or is this like a hack that you just you use their audience pretty much?
Yeah, so this isn't a hack. You actually, you're just using Facebook's dedicated platform. How many of you guys have played with Facebook ads before? Okay, a good number of you. Really, you just go to create campaign, and then you create a campaign based on video views, and then you upload your assets. And then what I do is I actually do a bunch of A/B testing. I A/B test the first 3 seconds of the video. Those are the most important. So maybe I have like 2 ideas for the headline of the video. I'll test both of them. And then I also test different audiences. I might test like, let's say 10 different audiences. Maybe I'll test a BuzzFeed audience, I'll test Credit Karma users, I'll test accountants, I'll test all these different audiences, and then I'll put just like $10 behind each one. It doesn't take very much. And then I'll look at which audiences are sharing the video the most, which audiences are getting the most organic lift, and then I'll double down, triple down, quadruple down on those audiences, which is what we do for this video and what we've done for our other videos. All right, I'm gonna share with you another video. And this was a video for a children's book. And this video has 27 million views. And within 48 hours of the video going viral, the book actually became an Amazon bestseller. All right, so here it is.
Hi, I'm Elena Favilli.
And I'm Francesca Cavallo.
Recently, I realized that not a single story I read growing up featured a girl who took her destiny in her hands and made something on her own without the help of a prince, a brother, or a mouse. By the time girls reach elementary school, they already have less confidence than boys. Why is that? They say that if you can see it, you can be it. But what happens when you never see someone like you making the headlines? What happens when all that you see around you is movies, cartoons, books, TV shows, dominated by men?
We decided we had to do something about it.
That's why we created this book.
It's 100 stories of real women who have achieved incredible things despite all odds. Astronauts, chefs, painters, judges, tennis players, extraordinary women who have changed and are changing the course of history in every field imaginable. We call it Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls.
It's the book we wish we had when we were children.
Get it for your daughter, your niece, your friend's daughter. Every girl you know deserves to grow up thinking that she can be anything she wants.
All right, let me break down this video. So, with this client, we did the brainstorm, and they gave me the insight, which is, hey, in children's books, there's actually 3 times more male protagonists than there are female protagonists, right? That's a pretty interesting stat. And so I think, okay, but statistics, they don't spread that well, right? How can we make this like visually interesting and concrete? And so I had this idea of removing books off of a bookshelf. And this really plays into Facebook, because on Facebook, the most important thing is your opening visual. Well, a lot of brands, they will start off the video with like some sort of like general scenic ambiance or like their logo. You can't afford to do that. You have to make sure that the first 3 seconds of your video are as visually interesting as possible. And so we have this like text on the top and the bottom. Who has seen the text on the top and the bottom on Facebook? Like this giant black text. Okay, this is like a really popular Facebook style. Basically, you put text on the top and text on the bottom, and it looks like a user-generated video. So that's just a little hack you can do. And you basically just want the text to very clearly describe what your video does. And the reason why that's so important is because on Facebook, there's no time to be clever. Like, it used to be that videos, you could make something really creative and clever, but the problem with clever is that clever takes time. You have to set up, and then you have some time, and then you have to pay off. Whereas people on Facebook, they're scrolling through the feed, they won't give you that time. You have to stand out in the first 3 seconds. So we have this text on the top and the bottom that tells you just enough to give you intrigue, the ugly truth of children's books. Ooh, like what's the ugly truth in children's books? Really simple words. And we have this opening visual, which is this stop motion of the books. You always want to use like a lot of motion, especially jarring motion or anything that's visually interesting will do well in the very beginning of your video. The other thing that I want to call out is that this video doesn't look that professional, and that's intentional. When we went to the children's bookstore, we came with a camera crew, and we came with all our fancy lighting equipment, and the gaffer lit everything up beautifully. And I looked at it, and I was like, why don't we just actually turn off all these lights and just use the house lights? Which is like total blasphemy in the film world. You don't do that. But the reason why was I wanted this video to look like it could have been made by a college student. I wanted it to have that like kind of guerrilla investigative journalism feel. I think the really interesting thing about Facebook is that you can actually spend less money on production quality. You don't need all the fancy cameras and all the lighting equipment. You can actually spend less money on production quality to get better results. Like, where else do you get to spend less money and get better results? Like, on Facebook, you can do that. A lot of our best performing videos were shot on the iPhone. You really don't need a better camera than the iPhone when you're making a video for your brand. In this particular case, this is a children's book. For a financial product like the tax video, that looked a little bit more polished. It's a financial company. It's important to be on top of your brand. For a children's book, it's okay to be a little more casual and homemade. And so the entire first half of the video sets up the problem. And again, this video is targeting the emotion of anger. And so the first half of the video sets up the problem, and the second half explains the solution, which is the book. And the second half is kind of a very relatable Kickstarter feel type video. You've probably seen these before, of a founder's story, why they made the book, and where you can get it. And that's really important. When I made viral videos before, and a lot of viral videos, you'll see, like, usually it's just the first half, and then it's just like the company's logo or the company's website and it just ends there. It doesn't have this whole like extended call to action at the end. The problem with that is that you may be able to get the video to go viral, but then people don't remember who you are, they don't remember your brand. Something like that, it can work for like Nike or Dove, who have a lot of brand recognition. But if you are a startup, you don't have that brand recognition, you have to explain to people what you do. And so this video follows a really similar format to the US versus UK taxes one. First half sets up the problem, identifies a visually interesting way of describing it, and then second half is the solution with the call to action. All right, any questions about this video?
Hi, thank you. It's a great talk so far. Writing a lot of notes. Just wondering, in terms of the work that goes into creating the video, I think for ourselves, I think probably have overthought a little bit, like, you know, the storyboarding part and all that, and, you know, we're trying to think, how are we going to do the viral video? But what's your process of sitting down and creating a video very effectively, more the production side of it as opposed to the marketing piece?
Yeah. So my strategy for kind of like coming up with ideas and the storyboarding part of it really is the biggest thing that I do is I steal the ideas. Like, I recommend you do that. It's like the fastest, like, why spend all this time coming up, figuring out how to be creative when you already can see on Facebook the viral videos and you can see what works. And that's what I love about Facebook is, like, if I'm on Snapchat and I see the ads on Snapchat, I actually can't tell what is a good ad or not because there's no analytics. Right? On Facebook, every single video, you can see the number of views, you can see the comments, you can see the shares, you can see what people are saying and whether it works. And so I would recommend spending a lot of time in the Facebook feed, following those pages that I recommended, studying the videos, getting a sense of like what are the styles of videos, and then you'll find one, you'll be like, oh, like we could do something like this, but change like that one thing and adapt it for our product. That is what I have seen is the most successful on Facebook. I'm gonna show you something. Okay. I did not make this video. Okay, you get the idea. This video came out in January, okay? And when the client told me, hey, like we've noticed that girls' books, that there's so many fewer girls protagonists than boy protagonists, I'm like, I remember seeing this video that was quite similar. I wonder if we could do something similar but with bookshelves, right? And I come at it with an automatic advantage because we already know this is proven. We already know this works, right? And so I have spent so much time like trying to reinvent the wheel and be creative and, oh, I'm creative. What really works is just to study what's out there, use it as a template for your own video. So every time, I would use this as an exercise. Every time you see a viral video on your Facebook feed, think like, oh, like how would we adapt this for our product? And you do it over and over and over and again, and eventually you'll come up with a solution. The other thing I recommend, your question was about storyboarding. I used to spend all this money hiring like storyboard artists who would storyboard stuff out. That's actually not necessary anymore. because you're gonna shoot on the iPhone anyway. And so what I do is I actually just like prototype everything out with my iPhone. Like I just shoot test footage. And so for the children's book with the bookshelf, like we had to rent out a children's bookstore in order to do that scene. That was the most expensive part of the shoot. And so before we did that, I just populated my own bookshelf at home with books. I didn't have enough books, so I filled it with like cereal boxes and stuff. And then I just made a time-lapse video of myself, like taking books off of the bookshelf, and then I edited my test footage, and I could actually see what works and what didn't work, and actually made some revisions to the script. I made some parts shorter, some parts longer, because I could see what was working. And then that's like free. You don't have to hire a storyboard artist to do that. You need a little bit of basic video editing knowledge. And then by the time you're ready to, have your actual shoot day, which might be a little more expensive, you might have some actors, you might have a cameraman, that by that time you're ready for it. Yeah. Other questions?
What about the length of the video? Have you seen any best practices in that?
All right. So the question was the length of the video, and this is actually a pretty interesting question. The answer that I used to give a year ago was that you should make the video the length that it takes to tell the story and not a second longer, because shorter videos perform better. However, Facebook about 3 or 4 months ago made a change, and they made a change to bias towards videos that are 90 seconds or longer, specifically 90 seconds. Anyone have any guesses as to why they might have done that? Yeah, shout it out. To add ads, yes, that is why, exactly. Facebook is soon going to be coming out with mid-roll ads. They are currently testing it among a few people, and so if you might be in their split audience that they're testing it on, basically you'll be happily like watching a Facebook video, and then in the middle of the video, ad for 15 seconds, and then it'll go back to your video. Has anyone seen this yet? Okay, a few people, yeah, some people have started seeing it. Eventually, everyone's hand is going to be up. So if Facebook is going to put an ad in the middle of your video and your video is only 10 seconds long, that's not going to fly. So Facebook needs content creators to start making longer videos, and so they've started incentivizing this by giving an artificial algorithmic boost to videos that are 90 seconds or longer. You might notice some Facebook videos are like there might be a Facebook video about a 10-second clip. Like I saw a Facebook video the other day which was about a man who went to a Best Buy and accidentally knocked over all these TVs while he was looking. Did anyone see this? Anyway, it's like a 10-second clip, okay? They literally looped this clip over and over again, putting different captions and different commentary and different arrows on it until it hit 90 seconds, right? That's because they're trying to get the algorithmic boost. So I would say if your video is close to 90 seconds, definitely try and hit that mark. If your video would naturally be a lot shorter, 20 seconds, it's okay. I wouldn't try to push it. But if you're getting close, try to hit at least 90 seconds. Yes?
Is it gonna change the way you make videos and people make videos? Because I'm the one that they got the ad halfway through, and everybody that I know skip it. We change video. We don't watch the second half of it, right? Is it going to change the way you make videos?
The question is, does this mid-roll thing change the way people make videos? And yes, every time Facebook changes their algorithm, it changes the culture of the videos that are popular. You might see, if you follow Insider, they tend to do this. So you as a content creator can decide when to place the break. You have a little bit of leeway. And so what they'll do is they'll do a cliffhanger right before. It's just like TV, right? They'll do a cliffhanger right before, and they will hold back some sort of interesting information that you might want, and then the ad will play, and then they'll have that at the end. Because they're only going to get their ad revenue if they actually can convince people to watch the ad. And so it's starting to change the culture. And this is so interesting to me because the style of video that goes viral has changed so drastically in the last 3 to 4 years. And it's all because of Facebook's algorithm. Facebook decides we're going to play videos with sound off. Now all the viral videos work with sound off. It's like the return of the silent film. Facebook decides to display videos in a certain way. Now, many of the viral videos are square. Facebook decides to give an artificial algorithmic boost to 90-second videos or longer. Now, all of a sudden, the Facebook videos are 90 seconds or longer. So yes, every time Facebook makes a change, the content creators react to it. Great. All right, I'm gonna play one more video. Actually, 2 more videos. I made 2 videos for the same client. It's a 360 camera, and I'm gonna show you both videos. And one of the videos got 500,000 views, and the other video got 14 million. Same product. Okay, that's video number 1. Let's watch video number 2.
And then you can go live, and you can go on Facebook, and we'll go to Dolores.
Okay, which video got 13 million views? Was it video number 1 or number 2? Raise your hand for number 1. Raise your hand for number 2. Okay, yes. Video number 2 got 13 million views. What happened was we made, I'm gonna X out of this. We made video number 1, and then it wasn't doing that well. Even though we spent a lot of money, you could tell that it looked like an expensive video. Okay, it wasn't performing that well. And my insight was like, okay, maybe it's not doing well because despite our best intentions, it still kind of looks like an ad. But this is a cool product. And so instead, we went to the park. It took an hour of our time. It cost nothing. We shot that video that looked like user-generated content, and it blew up, and it got 13 million views. There's a lot of things that we did in video number 2 to make it look like authentic that were actually intentional. For example, like really important is how you start off the video, right? So I'm just looking at my phone and I'm like, oh, come here, right? As I'm like actually breaking the fourth wall and interacting with a cameraman, which is not something that you would do in an ad, but it is something that you might do on like Snapchat, for example. Then you'll notice that we can actually see the cameraman in here. You see that? There, you can see the cameraman actually filming. He's in the shot, right? For the first video, we spent a lot of money like on green screen so that wouldn't happen. Most camera companies would never like show that, break that wall. But if you were like showing like a friend a product, you wouldn't care about that. And so this time we didn't care about it and we left it in there and it feels more user generated. And then the last thing, well, one other thing we did, even like here, when I'm typing. like in the very beginning there was a typo in there, right? We just left that in, right? Because that's a very natural thing. Whereas traditional video, we would like shoot it over and over and over again until you got the perfect take. Leave the mistakes in, and then at the very end you can see like when I'm done with the video. I'm like pretending to be shy at that moment, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, we're done with the video. Like that's something that's really like, in a user-generated video, you might be like, oh, like stop filming. That's a very natural thing, but you wouldn't actually do that in an advertisement. But that's what it makes it feel like not an advertisement. And so, you know, you would be surprised. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands of tens of thousands of dollars creating a video. It's pretty incredible the results that you can get from an iPhone. Watch Facebook videos in your feed, study them, mimic them. All right, I've got time for like 1 minute of Q&A.
Do you have any tips like for a Kickstarter video? Do you, because you know the format is kind of different. The target audience is also different. So do you have any tips?
I'm not the best person to ask for that. I don't specialize in Kickstarter videos, so I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, I prioritize Facebook right now. I would say one thing that you should do for your Kickstarter is study the Facebook page, Tech Insider, and Futurism. They will oftentimes do like these journalistic cut downs of popular Kickstarter products and link to the Kickstarter. So you can actually make a Kickstarter video go viral on Facebook by following that template.
Great video. Just wondering about organic virality versus like paid advertising virality. Like that video, did you make it go viral by paying for like views essentially, or does organic work?
I always on Facebook, I always seed it with some amount of paid views. But if I do a good job, then I'm spending less than $500 to get like 1 million or even 10 million views plus. That's if you do a good job of the content. That's if you do a good job with your targeting. Facebook video prices right now are actually so rock bottom, especially if you have good video, that I recommend at least, you know, just throwing $10 behind each target segment and testing it. Okay. All right. Thank you.